Greetings, citations. I'm still up. It's 3:38 a.m. It's December the 11th, 2024. So going to talk about this manifesto that's been leaked from Luigi's, um, the person who murdered the CEO of health. Was called I forgot what it's called now. So let me say this. Um, I don't condone nor support the actions of the person's manifesto, the author of the manifesto of this manifesto I'm about to read, and the link of the manifesto is in the description box. Um, I'll put it up here in a minute. Yeah, I'll put it up right here. So here's the manifesto. Um, so and this is from the Ken's website. He says, "I have obtained a copy of suspected killer Luigi uh I can't, this is Italian manifesto, the real one, not the forgery, circulating online. Major media outlets has also in possession of the document, but refused to publish it, and not even circulated or articulated a reason why. My inquiries to the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, and NBC to explain their rationale for withholding the manifesto while gladly quoting it from selectively has not been answered. I will have more to say later on how unhealthy the media drift away from public disclosure is, but for now, here's the manifesto. To the feds, I'll keep it short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you the lengthy investigation, I state plainly I wasn't working with anyone. This was a fairly trivial, some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience. The spiral network, if present, has been staggering notes and to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My take, no, excuse me, I'm sorry. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering. So much, not much info there. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder: the U.S. is uh, number one, the most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly 42 in life expectancy. United is the indecipherable decipherable um, largest company in the U.S. by market cap, only behind Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but as our life expectancy, no. The reality is these um, has gotten too simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for a miss profit because the American public allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have the space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and greed Rosendahl more decades ago, and the problem remains simply, simply is not the issue of awareness of this point, but the clear power games at play, and I am the first to face it with such brutal honesty. So this is his manifesto. It's not that long. It's about what, 2 paragraphs at least. You know. So this is the manifesto that's been circling around online. Um, so there goes to it. Now, anyway, I'm gonna talk about something else too, though. Right? I'm gonna talk about something else. There's also some. And I'm gonna change the title to this as well. Go ahead and donate if you like this conversation here. What is it with these drones, these UFOs flying over New Jersey and the eastern seaboard as of late? Now there have been stories, and you know what? I might have to bring that up because, yeah, yeah. Let me bring that up, y'all. I'm gonna bring that up and take that down because I saw this a few hours ago, and I find this mighty disturbing. So this been going on for weeks in New Jersey, and nobody ain't saying a word. Um, let me use, yeah. Let me use this one instead. Let me use this one instead. So, um, use this story instead because I'm gonna talk about this too.
SUV sized drones in New Jersey. Dozens of reports seen near military bases, armories, civilian areas, over people's houses, properties owned by President elect Trump. The FBI says they've been investigating it for a month. A month? But many, like my next guests, say the response has been tepid. What could they be, and how is this so hard to figure out? Joining us now is New Jersey State Senator John Bramnick and former defense and intel official who investigated UFOs for the federal government, Luis Elizondo. Thank you for having both of you here. I appreciate it. Senator, let me ask you, what do you make of how your requests to satisfy people's curiosity have been met by other officials?
Not very well. Either the government doesn't know anything, or the government is in a position where it's an embarrassment to the people of the state of New Jersey, because people already come to the table with distrust of government. This adds to distrust.
So, so what's going on is that there are vehicle-sized drones or vehicle-sized objects floating in New Jersey and some places in New York and some places in Pennsylvania. And what's so astonishing, this been talked about for at least a day or so, but people are saying, well, this been happening for weeks. It's been going on for weeks. So we gotta start asking the question. And they're saying these objects is near military bases, near government bases, government areas, and near spots where around out just outside of major populated areas. And since the governor of Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let it be played.
And I'm deeply concerned that people come up with conspiracy theories. You see them on the internet all the time. So this doubled down, and it double downs on the people who make up theories and also don't trust government. So it has a double whammy on government.
Have they told you anything, Senator, about what to say or what to think?
The only thing I heard is Governor Murphy did a press conference while he was signing another bill, and he indicated he wasn't concerned with the safety of residents. But the residents I represent are deeply concerned that they need a lot more information than a blanket that it's still safe out there. That's simply not enough. We're going to have a briefing tomorrow in Trenton, and I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say.
Well, you got a platform here to tell the country what you're finding out and what you're not finding out whenever you want it. Mr. Elizondo, it's good to have you again. What's your guess on this? I mean, look, the good news is you see a lot of navigation lights on these things. You see red and greens on a lot of these, which, as you know, are familiar lighting that people put on drones over a certain size. What's your guess as to why there's so many over Jersey all of a sudden?
Well, Chris, surprisingly enough, it's not just over Jersey. Recently, over a few weeks ago, we had a very similar issue over Langley Air Force Base, one of our most sensitive military installations. And frankly, if you look back the last 4 or 5 years, there was actually a very similar occurrence back in Colorado, where for weeks, local and state law enforcement officials were chasing these things in the skies, almost doing a racetrack pattern, and no one seemed to know what the heck was going on. Actually, this is one of the very reasons why I decided to testify before Congress a few weeks ago, because quite frankly, we don't really have control of our space. We don't have awareness of what are in our skies.
Oh, excuse me. I was muted. Having looked at the videos and videos like um, this kind of reminds me of the balloon crisis that China would send up those balloons. Um, what if, it's a um, what if it's a nefarious group, a cabal, if you will? Um, I wouldn't use the T word yet. What if it's a foreign actor, um, a foreign actor gauging on the eastern seaboard with military bases and population centers, because most of America's um, most of America's economic and social power is in the East Coast, like Wall Street, uh, financial power like Wall Street, military power. The most military bases in the East Coast, uh, and the capital of the United States is in the East Coast. So um, maybe it's a foreign actor or a foreign group, and let's just also say it could also be in my opinion, I'm for the latter. I'm looking at this more as a domestic um, issue, domestic cabal that's trying to um, do a dry run, if you will, trying to do a dry run on its own citizens in its own country, uh, possibly. I'm gonna use the term possibly committing treason, especially that this is post election, and and we don't know what's about to. We don't know what's going on. So I'm for the latter, if you ask me. But anyway, I'll play this whole thing though.
Do you believe that the FBI has been looking for a month and doesn't have any answer about what these are when there's so many?
Well, I've worked with the FBI in the past, and they tend to be very, very competent when they're doing investigations. I do believe they have some answers. I don't think they have all the answers yet. What further makes this more complicated, you have an issue where these things are being seen over civilian airspace, so you have jurisdictional issues, right? You have, from a federal perspective, you have FBI leading the law enforcement investigation, but you also have the Department of Defense. You have folks like the U.S. Air Force and Office of Special Investigations. You have DHS and even the FAA. And so all these federal agencies, forget about even the state and local agents, are trying to work together and try to deconflict what's in the skies. And unfortunately, they just don't seem to have a common operating picture right now of exactly what we're dealing with.
You think they're wrong about the size? Because, it's not easy to find drones of any significant size on the commercial market.
Yeah, so here's the problem, Chris. Great point. We know that commercial drones tend to be a typical size, and they use a certain amount of power, if you will, and have a certain amount of loiter time, a certain amount of range. It typically can be anywhere between 15, maybe 20 minutes if you're lucky. And then you have to have line of sight in order to control these. If you talk about anything bigger than that, you're really talking about a state-sponsored capability. This isn't a hobbyist. This isn't a drone that someone buys, let's say, from Radio Shack or buys from Amazon. This is something far more complex that can be flown beyond line of sight, i.e. over the horizon, and has a loiter capability in some cases of several hours. And if you're talking about an SUV size or larger potentially drone, this is a problem. Look, the U.S. Navy has been reporting these types of drones, in some cases the size of cars and even bigger, for years now. And this is exactly emphasizing the point why we need to take this seriously.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
Now, I don't know. I think we need to do. I find it's weird though. But anyway, that's all I got to report on this. Anyway, I think it's kind of weird. All this going happening in the same month, same few weeks. It's craziness for the last month of December. It's just craziness after craziness after craziness, and I don't know what to tell y'all. So who knows what may occur? But anyway, Big J out. Y'all have a nice one.